Season 5 of The Boys just dropped, and it already revealed something insane. Butcher might not just be dying, he might be evolving. And that's just the beginning. Because there are multiple theories right now that could completely change how this story ends, including one where Homelander doesn't die, but suffers something even worse. So today, we're breaking down the 6 craziest Season 5 theories that might actually happen. And trust me, the last one is brutal. Butcher's impossible disappearance. All right, let's start with something that already doesn't make sense. In episode 1 of The Boys Season 5, we get this quick fight between Butcher and Homelander. Homelander lasers him, sends him flying, and then calmly walks over to finish the job. But when he gets there, Butcher is gone. Not hiding, not crawling away, just gone. And here's why this is a huge problem. Homelander isn't just strong, he can see through walls. So how do you lose someone like that? You don't. Unless Butcher just did something we've never seen before. Now some people are saying this is just bad writing, but that doesn't add up either. Because the writers already planned this season ahead of time, this isn't random. Which means one thing, that disappearance was intentional. And if that's true, then Butcher might have unlocked a new V-powered ability. Something fast enough, or dangerous enough, to escape even Homelander. And if Butcher is evolving, then this final season just became a lot more unpredictable. The Deep secretly the smartest player? Now this next theory sounds completely insane, but it might actually change how you see this character forever. What if the Deep has been playing everyone this whole time? Think about it. In Season 5, during that undercover moment, security is supposed to be locked down. Black Noir is doing his job, but the Deep is nowhere to be found. And when Homelander asks about it, he just brushes it off like, yeah, he's useless. And that's exactly the point. Because if you wanted to move in secret, what's the perfect cover? Being the guy nobody takes seriously. Now here's where it gets interesting. There's a moment where the Deep gas bombs Black Noir. The show plays it like he's just trying to impress Homelander. But what if that's not what he was doing at all? What if he was creating a private window to pass information or set something up behind the scenes? Because let's be honest, this is the same guy who once found one of the most dangerous secrets in the entire show. He knows how to survive. So what if all the stupidity, the embarrassment, even humiliating himself in front of Homelander isn't weakness, it's strategy, a long game. And if that's true, then the Deep might not be the joke anymore. He might be the most unpredictable player on the board. The Deep in a train, a secret alliance? Now this one is subtle, but it might be one of the most human theories in the entire show. What if the Deep and A-Train actually understand each other more than anyone else? On the surface, they're always arguing. They don't trust each other. But look closer, because their situations are almost identical. Both of them are trapped inside the Seven. Both of them are terrified of Homelander. And both of them are constantly trying to survive without stepping out of line. Now here's where things get strange. When A-Train is on the run, where does he go? Near the ocean, the one place where the Deep has absolute control. That's not random. That's a risk. So why would he take it? Maybe because he knew the Deep wouldn't betray him. And there's another detail. The Deep supposedly spends a long time trying to find A-Train and fails. But the moment Homelander gets serious, suddenly he finds him almost instantly. That doesn't feel like coincidence. It feels like hesitation. Like he didn't actually want to catch him, until he had no choice. Because deep down, these two aren't just teammates. They're survivors of the same system. And if they ever decide to work together, that could be a serious problem for everyone else. What happened to Black Noir? Now this next theory is where things get disturbing. Because something is seriously off about Black Noir. This isn't the original Noir. We already know that. This version can actually talk. So explain this. Why hasn't he said a single word in Season 5? Not one. And it's not just silence, it's behavior. He randomly disappears every single day without telling anyone where he's going. That's not normal. That's someone hiding something. Now, there are a bunch of theories. Maybe he's a clone. Maybe it's someone else under the mask. But the darkest explanation is also the simplest. What if he can't talk anymore? Think about who he works for. Homelander doesn't like unpredictability. He doesn't like mistakes. And he definitely doesn't like people stepping out of line. So what happens if Noir broke character even once? What if Homelander didn't just punish him, but made sure it could never happen again, permanently? And now Noir stays silent, not because he wants to, but because he's terrified of what happens if he speaks again. Butcher's father is still alive. Now this theory takes us straight into Butcher's past, and it's not a clean one. We've always been told that Butcher killed his father, but here's the problem. We never actually saw it happen on screen. And in a show like The Boys, that usually means something. Now think about what happens next. After that supposed moment, Butcher suddenly appears somewhere completely different, acting like nothing happened. That's strange timing, especially for someone as unstable as him. So here's the theory. What if Butcher didn't kill his father at all? What if he did something worse? What if he took him and hid him, not for protection, but for control, for revenge? Because Butcher doesn't do closure, he does punishment, and that fits his entire mindset. Every enemy he's ever had has suffered in some way before dying, if they die at all. So if his father is still alive somewhere, locked away, forgotten, it wouldn't be mercy. It would be deliberate, a slow, ongoing consequence for everything he went through as a child. And if that truth comes out this season, it won't just change Butcher's story. It will destroy whatever line he had left between justice and pure vengeance. The endgame. How this really ends. Alright, this is where everything collapses into one final outcome. Because no matter which theory is right, Season 5 of The Boys is heading toward a brutal end. And there are only a few ways this can realistically finish. First possibility, Homelander doesn't die. He gets stripped of everything. His powers are gone. His control is gone. And for someone who believes he's a god, that's worse than death. Imagine him locked in a cell, just a man. Nothing special, no fear, no power, no worship, just reality. Second possibility, Butcher finally goes all the way. He does what he's been trying to do since the beginning, and he kills Homelander. But here's the problem. By that point, Butcher isn't a hero anymore. He's become exactly what he hated. And that leads to the darkest ending of all. Huey being forced to stop him. Not Homelander. Not Vote. Butcher. Because at that point, the real enemy isn't superpowers anymore. It's what those powers turned everyone into. And if the show really wants to end on impact, it won't be about saving the world. It'll be about ending the cycle, even if it costs everything. But the real question is, which ending do you actually think is coming? And more importantly, are any of these characters even capable of walking away from what they've become? And that's where things stand right now. 6 theories that could completely reshape Season 5 of The Boys. But now I want to hear from you. Which theory do you actually believe is going to happen? And don't play it safe. I want your wildest prediction in the comments. If even one of these ends up being true, this season is going to be chaos from start to finish. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't just leave it here. Hit the like button so more people can find this, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this one. I break down theories, hidden details, and endings you won't see coming. And I'll see you in the next one, before everything goes completely off the rails.